University of New Mexico, and I got my degree in finance. Yep, I did get a job right out of college, and I basically did the quintessential go to business school, get offered an internship, and that was with a company. It was a real estate investment trust, publicly traded, called Camden Property Trust. Unreal company, phenomenal, great culture, great story, love what they did. They own, they manage, operate, build, develop multifamily all across the US. I think they have maybe 70,000 units in their portfolio. So my internship was with the real estate investment division of that company. No, I had an interest in real estate. It's just when you hear the word real estate, it's like, what does that even mean? Like, and then once you actually get into it, you're like, holy shit, there's so many verticals that I could be in. So I just knew I wanted to be in real estate, and I knew a little bit about the founder and the ownership, and I loved their story. And so yeah, I wanted to go work in that world in multifamily. Well, then what happened was I was doing that, and I was living in Florida. I was 20. I just turned 21. I spent my birthday in Tampa, Florida, and it was basically this is what life was going to look like post college. And I just remember there were days where I was just so bored, and like it wasn't the company's fault. It was just me, the way I operate, and I was bored. And then on the weekends I was always like, all right, I'm gonna use Saturday and Sunday to grind towards my real like job or vision or what I'm gonna build. And I remember just not even having any ideas, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Like I feel like the enthusiasm is being sucked out of me. I ended up not wanting to go down that route. And then the last thing, which wasn't a huge factor at the time, but the income component. I started to understand what guys who had been 5, 7, 10 years in the role I was starting in, what they were earning, and it just wasn't enough personally. I ended up going back to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and my dad is actually a custom home builder. And I was, trying to figure out what to do, and he was like, you should get your real estate license. And I'm like, a real estate license? You mean like bake cookies and hold open houses and shit? Like, what? I don't know about all that. And so, what he told me was, like, well, last week I just paid a real estate agent $25,000. And I'm like, wait, $25,000 what? You got to remember, at the time I probably had like $250 in my checking account. So that was a lot of money. And he says, yeah, the guy we paid, he brought us someone who wanted to build a home for about $1 million, and we paid him 2.5% to bring us that client, and they ended up building the property for him. And he was like, that's out there. That's very due. It's not going to happen your first day on the job, but yeah, if you get good at it, being an expert in our market in real estate, you can get paid that, once a week. And I'm like, $25,000 once a week, or shoot, even if I sold 10 homes, 25,000 times 10. And that's what ultimately sparked my interest. Now, I didn't have enough money. Remember, $250, that was probably a good day, $250 in my account. So I was like, well, what can I do to get enough money to get my real estate license? It was gonna cost about $2,000, $3,000 all in, without robbing a bank or without selling drugs. Those are my two things I wasn't gonna do to get that money. So I ended up joining a traveling explosive team, explosive demolition. So what we would do is go to different mine quarries around the Southwest. Long story short, there's giant rocks that get chopped up and used for whatever in their commercial space, what they use, buildings, roads, etc. And so our job was to go lay all the explosives and just blow up rocks. I mean, these are big explosions. So I did that for about 4 months in the blazing hot sun, hard hat, steel toe boots, shovel in my hand, probably about 90% of the time. And it was really cool because you would earn time and a half, because we worked more than 8-hour days. I mean, we worked like 10, 12 was the average. You got paid time and a half. You got paid for travel. So when we were traveling around the state, all of our meals and travel time was on the company. And we also got paid for the time we were in the truck. So if we had a 6-hour drive, I would get paid per those 6 hours to sleep in the truck. And I also got hazard pay. So if we did anything like extra dangerous, we'd get additional, $7 more an hour to do some dangerous stuff. So I got enough money from doing that for about 4 or 5 months, and then went and got my real estate license. got hired by a Remax franchise in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that was my first taste in real estate. And it's funny about that is that I didn't know that as an agent you can interview everywhere and people want you. I didn't know that. So I thought I like got hired at Remax, like, oh shoot, I got a job at Remax. And I later found out that I was mistaken about that. But yeah, that was the story about how I got into real estate.